Hey, this is Professor Homa. Welcome to part 4 of EX11, the Wiki Dentist site. And on part 3, we got started with the CSS and the HTML. So we're kind of working our way through the CSS, and we have to put our picture in and do some formatting in here. So I'm going to jump back to the CSS file. And one of the things I'll do with the CSS file, looking at this, going back to look at this, obviously I need the picture, but I'm going to do some formatting with the text. So I'll go back to my CSS, and I'll jump down to this font family here, and I put in Georgia, Cambria as my second choice, Times New Roman, and serif as a general serif. So if I look here, that should show up as a serif font, but I'm going to make it white, and I'll probably make it a little bit bigger. I'll make it maybe double the size. So to make it white, I'll put in my FFF, and the font size, I'm going to use M's. So I'm going to use like 2.2 M. I'm going to try that out, and I'll check it out. And that's about how I want it to look. The other stuff I think is fine the way it is. It's bold because it's an H4 element, so it's automatically bold, so I didn't have to make it bold, and I think it already had the color applied. Just let me check that out. Here's the H4. It already has the color applied, so there's nothing else I have to do here with that one. The H4 is done for you, so you don't have to do anything with that. And then there's the top navigation, which we'll deal with in a second. But actually, let me do if you go back to your HTML, we should finish this up because we have one more thing to do with our HTML, and we have to put our image in here. So I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to do the image src equals, and it's looking for my image folder, and I'm going to put in picstrip. And that's what I'm putting in there. And I could put the width of 858 is the width. And notice you don't have to use pixels in HTML. And I'm going to put in the height. And the height is going to be 300. And I don't have to put in pixels for that either. And I'm also going to put in an alt tag. And I'll put alt equals. And I'll just put in quotes picstrip. Again, that just means it's just a picture. And you could just put picture of patients if you want, because remember, that's only if the picture wouldn't load or if people hover over it. And I'll see if that shows up in my page, and notice it doesn't, because when I work in the HTML, I do have to save the HTML. CSS will update automatically, but you do have to save the HTML. Let me refresh that, and there's my picture, and you can see it's shaping up so far. We're gonna have to put this stuff on one line, take away the bullets, take away the outlines, and then I think we'll be okay with the nav. And then we just have a couple things to do down here, so not a whole lot to do. Or it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot to do. So we'll go back to my CSS. We're done with the container. We're done with the H1. We're done with this H4. Now we have all these top navs. Now it is a little bit more challenging here. Some of the things are done. The font size is done for you. I did that for you. It's 0.9. It's a little smaller. And there's also padding of 1 above and below the top nav section. So the padding above and below is finished. And notice the point size is a little bit smaller. So compared to this, point size is a little bit smaller. So we're going to have to do some other things here, and I have some notes to help you out to go through this as you go down. So hopefully this will help you. List style. Now, list style basically means these are the bullets. And I didn't put a little comment there, but list style takes away the bullets, so you want to put none. That'll basically take away the bullets, and if you want to put a comment there, I would appreciate if you did this. If you did takes away bullets or removes bullets, however you want to write that. So that should remove our bullets. If you're not sure, just check it, and there's the bullets are gone. So the bullets are gone, and that's one. And then we have display. Remember, inline is when it does not have, it's no longer block, so we want to put inline. Padding, I'm not sure what we want to do yet. I think we were using, for padding for these, I was going to use something like 0.7 EM. I experimented with different sizes here, so I'm going to use 0 on the top and bottom, and then 0.7 EM. So it's not quite, because I wanted it all to fit on one line naturally. So 1M was a little too big. It started to break on 2 lines. So that's what that does. So let's take a look at what happened so far. And you can see that's what it did. It puts basically, there's the 0.7 M on either side of these things. Okay, now we don't have any, we could color these as buttons or whatever you want, but we didn't put those little borders. We're just going to put a border a border to the right. You can't put them on either side or they'd kind of stack on each other. So we're going to put a border on either side, and we're going to remove the underlines, and then we're going to color it. So we don't have a whole lot to do with our nav stuff. And again, it's going to be for the border. I can copy the other border just so I use the same kind of format. Here's border, and I'll copy that. And let me get rid of, I see there's an extra semicolon there. Let me copy this just so I use the same format. And I'll go down here to border, and I'll put it right in between there. And I'll put a space. And it's actually going to be a 1 pixel border. It's going to be solid, and it's going to be white. So that's all I should need for that. And let's see what it looks like so far. And there it is. It's a little tall, so we may have to adjust that a little bit. We may have to adjust the padding a little bit. Okay, the reason it's a little high is the way I have this here. I don't have a proper space between here, so I should make sure I put that space. It's reading as 0.7. I want to make sure I put a space there, and I'll put another one here. And then when I go back, this is really what my border should look like. It shouldn't be as high as it was showing before. So I had a problem with my space. So that's okay the way it is right now. Now, one of the things we're going to do is we have, if you look at your HTML, I actually did make a class for some of this top stuff. The first one is called first. The last one is called last. I just put an extra class in there, so it's under the LI. So it's an LI class. So the other ones are just LI. This is LI class equals first, LI class equals last. And that's just to identify the first and last element of that list. And here they are, LI first, LI last. And what I'm going to do for the padding, for the first one, is remove the padding on the left side. And to do that, to remove the padding on the left side, I'm just going to do paddings on all the sides. So I'm going to do padding top, which is 0, and then I'm going to do padding, remember it goes, you know, top, right, bottom, left. So then the next one is the right, which I'm still going to keep my right. That's still going to be 0.7 m. And then in the bottom, it's going to be 0. And then on the left side, it's going to be 0. This is the important one. This, because I'm not going to have any on the left. So that's what, but I had to spell them all out here so it overrides this one. So that's what I'm going to do for that one. And I still have a border on the right, so I'm not going to mess with the border. And over here, for border right on this one, I'm just going to put none. This is the last one. I don't want any border. And on this one, I want to basically remove the right padding on it. So I'm just going to copy what I have for the first one and paste it here for the last one. And instead, it's going to go 0 on the top, 0 on the left, on the right side, and then 0 on the bottom, and then 0.7 em here. So you just have to remember your directions of, you know, top, right, bottom, left. It goes in that direction. So this is going to be top, right, bottom, left. So this is the important one. This is the one that removes the space on the right. This is the one that removes the space on the left, and this removes the border. So let's see if that looks right. And there's the border. There's no extra space here. There's no extra border over there, and it goes right to the end. So that gives me, the reason I took away the space over there, not that it would be a big deal, but if I had extra space, if it got too close to the edge, it would break into another line. So I don't want any space there. I want a little bit of, you know, a little bit of breathing room in case it does get a little bigger or the font changes or something. So now I got to change the colors of these because they're default link colors right now. So that's all I'm doing down here with these last two nav things. I'm just going to put color, and I think they're, if I look at the sample again, they're white and then they hover with blue. So I'm just going to change those so that the color is white, and I'll do the FFF. And then text decoration. Remember, that removes the underline, so I'm going to put none. And you should put in, I would ask that you put in the removes underline. I might put that in your file before I upload it. So that will remove the underline, and then the hover color will be the blue color. So I like to just go FFF and then right click on it and then do quick edit and then just choose the blue color that's here. I think that's the blue color that we're using, although it looks standard blue. I don't think that's the right color. I should be using dark color blue. I should be using this one. For some reason it didn't show up in my list yet, so I'm going to copy it from up here from the H4, and go down and put it in here. It shouldn't be just blue. So I'm going to put that one in there. I'll even quick edit, and there it is. Now it's showing. That's the one that's showing up in the list. So that's the one I want. And now that looks right. Now when I hover, they get the blue color. So that's all done so far. So we're just going to work on this part next.